welcome to the Book Fix podcast, the podcast where we fix lives one book at a time. I'm your host, Chelly.
And I'm your host, Yahaira. And oh, damn, we have so much to fucking say. I feel like most episodes we try to include a little bit of book tea, but damn, this book tea is kind of long. It's kind of long. What if it's longer than the episode? Damn.
Dude, I remember there was this one podcast I liked that they just, every beginning of their episode, they have small talk, and then one whole episode was small talk once. It was like 2.5 hours of small talk.
Oh my God.
So welcome to our small talk. Well,
wait, should this just be like this? What if we just made a whole episode on this? Oh my God. Wait.
Book talk tea with
book
me
tea.
and ye. Oh. I couldn't rhyme it.
Okay, close enough. All right, so let me go ahead and explain how this even came into my feed, because I don't know if you're the same way, Chelly, but I haven't really been online much. But I was on Twitter. R.I.P. And I saw someone post a video of Kiera Lewis, and we'll explain everything in a minute, but let me just explain how I figured everything out, or I guess was introduced to everything. I saw a video of Kiera Lewis, and it was the one where it was kind of like the aftermath, or almost the aftermath, where she's in the video and she's crying and she's saying how she, like she's being attacked, right? And how it's like unfair. And I immediately sent it to you because I was like, what is going on? What the fuck? Hello?
Yeah.
Hold on, sorry.
You knew who she was, right?
So she seemed familiar. I'm not really good with names, but she seemed really familiar. And as I watched some of her videos, I realized, like, yeah, I did like a lot of her videos. I never really saw the ones pertaining to this, though, which is so crazy because they seem to be one of her viral ones.
Well, in all fairness, because I fucking love Kiera. Like, I remember following her. And I remember like following her whole journey of her reading fucking ACOTAR and everything. And I thought she was very energetic. But I think really around the time that she started posting her hockey videos, you and I were both extremely busy. That was the time we were busy. So we missed everything.
Yeah, no, we really did. So pretty much Kiera Lewis has over 1 million followers on TikTok. And like we said, she's super energetic. I feel like she's one of those personalities that I just really enjoy watching because she's very alive. And so basically what happened is that she got really into a hockey romance, which I think was called Pucking Around. I don't remember the author's name.
Yes.
And this kind of led to her infatuation with hockey, like IRL hockey. And she started to post a lot of like, oh, this hockey player is really, really cute or handsome or sexy or whatever. And it kind of started to just escalate into fiction to reality, right? Like she just started like thirsting over these real men. And it definitely crossed many lines, which I don't know how. I don't know how this is barely coming up. I don't know how nobody called her out for it before, like when it was happening, like in the beginning.
Well, the thing is, I feel like it is such, and I fucking hate saying this, but it's kind of a blurred line when they haven't met yet. Because she didn't have any face-to-face interaction yet, but she was making videos of hockey players when they're warming up. Yeah, specifically the Seattle Krakens. But when they're warming up, because you have to stretch out your hips and your waist and your thighs. And it's a very like provocative pose, but I mean, they're stretching, you know?
It's their
job.
But
she completely fucking took it as the most sexual thing in the world.
Literally,
watching those make me...
I was cringing so fucking hard, dude. Because, okay... this whole situation just kind of made me like think about it, like sit back and think like, have I inappropriately thirsted over a man on here? I don't even know. I mean, the only thing that I could remember was the Henry Cavill moment, but like this was like another level because she was there, like she was at these games. And she would be filming herself and then she would turn the camera to the players. And I feel like she was loud enough for them to hear. Maybe they didn't hear her. I'm not sure. But she was just like being very like she was harassing them. She was like catcalling them pretty much. And
wait, I want to go back to what you said about the whole, like, it makes you think about whether you have done this before. And then the whole Henry Cavill thing, dude, I haven't even thought about that in a minute. But I just want to say, like, there is a difference because, you know, there are people who make fan edits of Pedro Pascal. There are people who make fan edits of Tom Hiddleston. Fucking, that's been a while. But you know what I mean? Like, there are edits
it's
like
coming
this.
back.
And there
Loki,
are people...
season 2, it's coming.
But you know what I mean? There's people who, like, are attracted to celebrities and say things about celebrities. But I feel like as soon as Kiera went to an event... and continued this is where it gets weird.
Yeah, I
because
agree
if I were ever blessed with the opportunity to meet Pedro Pascal,
oh my God.
I am not saying I'm
not saying shit.
That's disgusting.
I'm not saying
because
nothing.
He's a person.
He won't even know that I'm interested.
He's gonna think that we're doing a job interview. Okay?
It's gonna be
I'm gonna
formal.
walk in, say my full government name. My name is Chelly Book Talk. Thank you.
Oh my God. No,
that's something else that
100% agree with you though. Like, you're right. Like, once you're actually making a connection with these people, that's when you really need to be careful that you don't cross the line. And what were you going to say?
I just want to correct myself. I said Chelly Book Talk, but that's the biggest thing that cringed me. So when she went to this event, it was because the Seattle Krakens had paid for her to go and even got her a jersey that said Book Talk. And I mean, that's fine. That's completely fine with me.
Yeah, I mean,
but I
think
what Kiera is not realizing, because what made her angry is that she felt targeted. And she was like, well, doesn't everyone else see that it's like everyone else on Book Talk as well? Like, it wasn't only me. And like, yes, I agree with her, but what she has to realize is that she is the only one that got tickets to go to this.
Yeah.
She made herself the face of Book Talk, and I don't agree with that. I don't think there should be a face to a community on TikTok.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
That's weird. That's weird for people to do that. I don't know. And she did that, and now that there's like consequence to what she's done, now she's trying to take it back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, obviously there's going to be scrutiny if you're going to act a certain way. Like, it's kind of like if you work, let's just say you work at Walmart, and, you know, obviously you're representing Walmart if you're wearing the vest or if you're wearing the shirt. Like, same way that if you go and do some crazy shit while wearing that, you're representing the store. So I'm not saying she's the face of Book Talk. She isn't. But because she's there, the whole reason that she's there is because she would make all of these videos for like the Seattle Krakens and, you know, these hockey romances. So it got to the point where obviously the social medias of the team noticed her, and they would comment on her posts as well. And I don't know, like, I feel like they maybe didn't think that she would cross a line being there, like, you know, being there. But in a way, I kind of see this one little side that she's trying to make, right? That, oh, they only used me and now they're done with me, right? Like, because they were interested in her because I don't think she made them like immensely popular. I think they were already popular on their own. But because of her videos, a lot of people on Book Talk did watch them, and so that's why she got, you know, these opportunities. And now they kind of like dropped her. But obviously they dropped her because she made the team uncomfortable. And I don't think she understands that part of it.
We'll be back after a quick break.
You live in a world of exceptional people. People who can fly, people who can disappear or jump to the moon, people who are bigger than you, stronger and faster than you, but not better. And they have made it apparent by now, mighty as they may be, they are not super. They are not heroic. For whatever reason, sympathetic or otherwise, they cannot even control themselves. Luckily for you, your family, the people you love, we can control them by any means necessary. The Beam Chronicles is a fiction podcast by MJ Dooney. New episodes monthly on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or visit beamchronicles.com.
And she also, it's gotten to a point of like denial too, because one of the players, do you remember his name?
Alex Winberg.
He has a wife, Felicia, and she voiced her like discomfort with all of this. And although she was like okay with it before, that people think that her husband's attractive, she's like, now it's gotten kind of weird, so can we please stop? And she posted screenshots, and it was a screenshot to Kiera's video, and you can clearly see Kiera's name. But it was like talking about another comment that was on there, but it was something that Kiera had said.
Yeah.
But Kiera took it as like, you're targeting me. Why is my name on your story? Like, what are you doing? And like, okay, I understand that. But then Kiera kept going and was just like, you know, I don't want to make any assumptions or like, you know, throw anything out there. But if your marriage is, you know, lacking, then, you know, that would make sense why you're angry. And then apparently she had a live where she called her a bitch.
The wife, yeah. She called
a delusional bitch.
Yeah, and I feel like she just kind of spiraled. Like she wasn't really thinking about what effect she really had on, like in this situation. And you know what I think made it worse was all of the people who were on her corner, you know, who were like, you're right, you know what, she's just delusional, like it's book talk against her, you know. And then the wife received so much like harassment as well for, you know, voicing her discomfort, which is absolutely crazy. So she on like her Instagram, like there's posts or comments I should say, where you know that they come from like Kiera's corner, I guess is the best way for me to describe it. Like they'll say like the phrase "crack my back" or I don't know, like just stuff like that, which is so like uncomfortable.
Two of the comments? Yeah. Can I read two of the comments that were on Felicia's page? I literally wrote it down, but there was one person, it was a huge paragraph, but I only wrote a little section where she had mentioned that she was angry at the wife because she's getting mad about something that is innocent and turning it into something that is harmful. And it's like, no, this wasn't innocent. What Kiera did wasn't innocent. That's sexual harassment.
I think in the beginning, maybe the wife, because Kiera's argument is that the wife was fine with it in the beginning because she would make comments as well, kind of like, not, I wouldn't say encouraging, but just like, you know, being okay with everyone thirsting over her husband. But now that she's voicing that, okay, you guys have crossed the line, Kiera is taking it personal. Like this whole thing just feels like she's taking it very personal, and she's not really seeing the damage that she's doing to this family.
Yep. There was another comment on Felicia's post, and it said, "Celebrity wives be doing too much."
Yeah, I saw that one too, which is like, I don't understand how people can see her post and think like, oh, well, she's just over-exaggerating. She's over-exaggerating. But I think that I don't know, like watching Kiera's videos, and especially the ones where she's actually at the game, and then her, because she's very energetic, so her like cheering on like inappropriate things, like the whole "crack my back," and like there was a whole like poem pretty much, I can't remember it, but I don't know how.
About crack my back until my eyes roll back.
Yeah, something like that. But I just don't understand how she doesn't have any shame. Like, how do you not feel uncomfortable? Like, I don't obviously know Kiera from her videos. I just kind of assumed like she, I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't want to.
Can I say something?
I just don't want to assume the worst of her. You know what I mean?
The thing is, I don't think she's a bad person, because I actually really, really like Kiera. But the thing that she makes me think about, because there was this one event, and I don't know if it was an online or if she actually met with them in person, but she has like a book club apparently. And there was one book club where they like apparently, if I'm wrong, please correct us on our TikTok at The Book Fix. Thank you. But she had an event where she brought dildos, and it was to show what they thought the character's penis looked like.
What the fuck? No fucking way. Okay,
here's what I think about that.
I saw, wait, before you go on, I saw a snippet of that, but what I saw was that she was reviewing sex toys in her book club. So something along those lines, like something.
I feel like you're more correct than I am.
Maybe.
I think you're more correct. But here's what I feel about that. I think Kiera it does not mean harm with what she's doing, except she has caused harm and she has to just take accountability for that. But I don't think she realizes that not everything you say has to go public. And I think that's the problem with a lot of book talkers, unfortunately.
Yeah.
They do not know when to stop. Like if you really like a book, that's fine. But if you're going to start connecting it to real people and, you know, now associating this real person with your fantasy, you have to realize that at the end of the day, that is a real person.
And
so
that's
you can
just
physically make someone uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like it's just a fantasy.
Like even her with this like whole like sex toy review. Like, yes, okay, you can do that if you have a close group of friends, you want to do that, you're not hurting anyone. You don't need to post that online. Like you can live your life without posting everything online.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like not everything has to be online. And also I would also add on that this could have just been easily handled if she would have just made just one single video and said, hey, I'm sorry that I blurred fiction with reality. I don't know what I was thinking. I apologize to the wife, the team, whatever. Never talking about it again. I don't think it's okay to sexualize or sexually harass these players, especially at their games. Sorry about that. You know what I mean? Like, just like you could have just said that.
She said that in her message to the wife, in her first message. But the thing is, she kept going. And she was just like, but why is my name in your mouth? It's like,
okay.
Oh my God.
Her issue was that in the wife's post, she left Kiera's name on there. It wasn't Kiera's comment, though, because she also left somebody else on there. But you could see Kiera's name like under the comment. So because she left the name, Kiera took that as like personal. She was like, oh, you're trying to make me look bad or, you know, pin this all on me. And that was why she felt so offended by this post, I guess.
With all of this like aftermath that's going on, I don't really like the fact that people who are talking about this on Book Talk keep saying like, oh my gosh, now people are going to think Book Talk is like this. Yeah. And I mean, I get it, like, because it's a community, sometimes things that happen will represent the whole. But we shouldn't, if we're part of a community, you shouldn't act as if someone's actions is going to ruin your experience.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, this is something that she did and she shouldn't have done it. But you don't have to talk about Book Talk as like oh my gosh, Book Talk, what are we going to do now? And it's like, that ain't me.
That wasn't me.
That's Kiera. Because I don't know if you saw, but there was a, ¿cómo se llama? A news article. And the title says, book nerd weirdos are harassing Alex Weinberg.
What?
And
no,
people are like, wow, now we're being called book nerd weirdos. And it's like, this shouldn't affect you. If they're offended by what Kiera and a big chunk of the community did, it probably wasn't even that many people, but enough for it to be damaging. Yeah. If they're offended by that, you shouldn't group yourself with those people.
Yeah,
you're not part of this. Don't make yourself part of this.
I was thinking that too. I mean, obviously, like, that is a very general statement. But if you read that and you know that you're not part of the weirdos, then you shouldn't feel offended. If you didn't say anything, if you didn't harass anyone, then you should just be like, yeah, those are the weirdos, because I would never do that.
This kind of reminds me of when we were in high school, and this is such a deep dive, but there was this one video game called Danganronpa that was really big, and people really, really liked it, but people didn't like admitting that they liked it. So when you would be in public, it was like a running on joke that you're not supposed to talk about it. So if you heard someone talking about it, you had to be like, oh, what's that? Never heard of it. Yeah. You know, because the people in the fandom because there's like a character who like cuts off his hand, and there was someone in the fandom who convinced everyone that she cut her finger off in live.
Oh my God.
So like, but then people were like, oh my God, they're going to think I'm that Danganronpa fan. And it's like, you have to realize that if you like something, you can like it in a healthy way. Like, because someone did something doesn't mean you have to associate with that. I don't know. I feel a certain way about it.
Yeah, no. This was definitely like the craziest thing that I've seen on Book Talk.
It's fucking wild. And also, Amiri stopped her book list, by the way.
I know.
Book tea.
I wish she wouldn't have. Damn, she would have been at like 1,000 by now.
I think she stopped around 200. No. She stopped around 100.
I'm so sad. I miss her. She needs to come back too, with her
but
list.
I hear she's vibing. She we talk about her like we know her because she recently moved out. I think she did.
Oh, I'm not
Good
sure.
for her.
Anyway,
I think she's looking for a home, actually. Thank you.
Damn, this whole situation was crazy.
How do you feel about Kiera now?
I'm not sure. I really don't know how to feel because I definitely don't like that she went on her live and called the wife a delusional bitch. I feel like people are really disrespecting the wife, and that doesn't sit well with me. Like, I don't understand why everyone is trying to make these rumors that, oh, there's something wrong with their marriage, there's something wrong with their marriage. Even if there was, which I'm not saying there is, that's not your problem, and that's not your business. Why are you talking about this couple? Like, leave them be, leave them alone. And also, we didn't mention that the husband, Alex, made a statement as well afterwards because of all of this backlash, I guess. Where he basically said that the only reason why his wife said something first was because she would say it more eloquently, in his words. And he also wanted the harassment to stop. But I honestly don't know how to feel about Kiera because I saw her more recent video and she's just doing a book haul. And I don't know, like, I just don't know if she's just trying to deflect, like if she just doesn't want to like pay attention to that and hope that it just goes away. Like, I just wish that she would at least realize that what she did was inappropriate. I don't know. I just kind of wish that she would say something about being wrong, pretty much.
I kind of feel the same way. I don't dislike her. I don't think she's like a malicious person, but the fact that she's not taking accountability is what makes me angry. I'm not saying that she has to apologize every single day, but she should apologize. You know what I mean? And genuinely apologize and not take that moment to like put down the wife or like say a comment about other people, because it doesn't matter that someone else did it. If you did it, you also have to apologize. It kind of feels like she's more angry at the fact that she got caught doing this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And also, it doesn't feel genuine to me when she posted the apology that she tried to send the wife. Like, it doesn't feel genuine to me because why are you posting it? It just feels like you want like validation. Like, oh, like she tried to apologize, you know? Like, I don't know. Like this, everything just rubbed me the wrong way. I hope that she addresses it because, you know, I did really like her energy. I'm not really sure if I'll keep watching her for a minute, but then again,
honestly, I think if you're okay with it, I'm probably going to unfollow her on our account.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of over it. Like, because seeing her post regular videos and everyone in her comment being completely supportive, it's like, no one learned from this. And I don't have to. There is so many other amazing creators that I can support that will not catcall people in public because they look like characters in the book they read.
Yeah, it's just, this whole thing was just uncomfortable. It was just so uncomfortable. I don't know how she was not embarrassed.
I really hope that she doesn't do this again and maybe watches how she says things and takes it a little more sensitively.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know either. We'll have to wait and see. But obviously, like the Seattle Krakens don't want anything to do with her, so we'll see what's next, I guess, if there is anything.
This is the biggest book talk drama I've ever seen.
I know, right? I don't think I've seen anything bigger than this.
Because I feel like it expanded outside of book talk.
Well, I'm sure there's been other stuff, but from the moments that we've been like involved or more involved, this is definitely something that was a lot bigger.
Yeah. Well, it really sucks, but I hope the comments on the Seattle Kraken members and the wife's Instagram calm down. Like, I hope people are done being mean.
I think that people are going to be annoying for a while, but I think eventually, I think they'll just like...
It cools down.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
I feel like give it a week.
Hopefully.
Sadly, but that's how fast the internet works.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. Dude, I'm sweating. That made me stressed.
I know, seriously. Dude, if I ever did something like that...
Dude, I feel like you'd catch... Because the thing is, what I understand is that sometimes when you're in the moment, you'll say something and someone's going to be like, hey, that's actually kind of shitty. And you'll be like, oh, shit, you're right. Because people get too comfortable online. And it's like you have to realize that there are certain jokes that although you probably didn't mean it to hurt someone, and although you didn't mean it to make someone uncomfortable, not everyone is going to know you. Because you're like presenting yourself to strangers every single time you post something online. So you have to take it as okay, I have to be sensitive because there's probably someone here that doesn't know that I joke like this. And that's her. She should have probably not done that in person. Like the fucking 5-hole, 3-hole thing. That's
oh my God. That was so embarrassing. Oh my God, dude. If I think about this too much, I'm going to have
part in her video.
What?
There was this one part in her video where she was like, oh my gosh, my kitty has never been in front of this many fine men.
Oh my God.
Don't say that.
Like, please stop. Don't bring your kitty into this.
But I mean, I really hope that I don't think she's ever going to make a comment about this again. I just hope that she doesn't do this again.
And I think people are worried because they are feeling like, oh, we can't even thirst online anymore. But like we said, there is a line and she definitely crossed it. And that was the problem. And also she didn't respect the wife's, wishes.
You know what I think about?
What?
I think about the fact that in our episode of The Witcher season 1, when I just rediscovered Henry Cavill, and we kept talking about how like his ass was huge. It's like, yeah, they had to like, what did we say? They had to like sew his outfit again.
Who's we?
Well, you agreed with me. No, but we made jokes like that. It's like, yes, we like him, but you could tell there's a distinction. You know what I mean? Like
we're not over here going onto his pages and harassing him. I'm not like going to these meetups and being like, damn, let me see that ass. I'm not doing that. That's weird.
And also, I can't imagine, and I don't know if some people do this, but I can't imagine making a video of just pictures of Henry Cavill and me talking about it. Because that feels uncomfortable to me. Because then that's like too far. I'm like, this is a man.
Yeah, it's just a man.
I don't know. Go watch that episode. It was good. But we are actually here to talk about friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
He's been on so often. TJ Klune's book that came out this year, In the Lives of Puppets. Dude. I've been waiting for this episode.
I know. I feel like we were supposed to do this weeks ago. Like, damn. I don't even know what happened.
I remember I bought this book when we said we were going to read it. And that was in April.
Yeah, that was a long time ago because that was right before we got really busy.
So I don't know if anyone remembers when Pinocchio became feral. when he was free of the copyright prison and everyone was like, grab Pinocchio while you can and make content.
I think everyone has realized because there has been so many freaking Pinocchio movies recently. I think it's
the fucking Guillermo del Toro one, the one with the why can't you let me do this on my own?
I was thinking that too. I was like, what was the line again? But Dad.
Well, it's because Pinocchio became public domain. People are taking advantage, and some are misses, but some are hits. But there's also this book, In the Lives of Puppets, that is inspired by Pinocchio, but I wouldn't call it a retelling. So I'm going to give a quick spoiler-free summary for those of you who have not read this book. I do recommend go read it because my summary is going to be very vague. And then after this, we're going to spoil the fuck out of the story. So maybe go read it.
Maybe.
But this story has to do with, oh my God, what the fuck is his name?
Victor.
Okay.
Come on.
That's not who I was going to talk about first. So this story has to do with a robot named Geo, and he is basically living in the woods, and he's so alone, and it's a feeling that he can't comprehend because he also can't feel. It's not until humans, a mom, a dad, and a kid, a baby, show up, and the parents are like, "Hey, we're being attacked, we're being chased. You need to take in our son and take care of him." And so then the humans go away and leave their baby, and Geo is presented like happiness, basically, this boy. And he takes this boy to be his own, and he names him Victor. So Victor is the main character of our story, and this story is about an adventure of, I don't know if I want to say grief, because I don't want to spoil too much. He goes on an adventure in order to save the one he loves.
Okay.
The end.
The end.
Yeah, that's as much as I want to say. If you're familiar with TJ Klune books, he talks a lot about grief in like every single book I've ever read that he's written. And I've read a lot of TJ Klune books. So it is definitely explored here. So if you are interested in reading a book that tackles grief in a Pinocchio retelling or an LGBTQ book, I do recommend you read this book.
Thank you. All right. So now we're going to get to the part of the episode where we're going to guess how the other person would rate the book. Chelly and I, we don't really discuss these books or whatever we talk about before the episode. So this is all just news for the both of us, which I think makes it more exciting, kind of, sort of. So Chelly, biggest fan of TJ Klune, probably number one fan, I think. She does have a tattoo of all of TJ Klune's greatest hits going down her spine.
I don't know if I told you this. I have a QR code on my back that takes you to his website.
Yeah, honestly. So let's pray that the domain doesn't change or anything. I think you would give this book a 5.
Okay. Well, that being said, I think you're going to give this book a 3.
Yours is so short. Your explanation was just like 5 words, maybe.
You told me not to go into detail because I could go into detail. I do want to say that the book that we read on the podcast was Under the Whispering Door, which we both almost rated as our top book of the year of 2022. So we do both like TJ Klune, but I still think you'd give this a 3.
Okay. So where do we start? Part 1. Let's start with that.
Well, that was something I wanted to bring up, actually. I like how this book is written in parts.
Yeah, I like it too. I like it when books do that, especially when it serves a purpose, at least, because sometimes it's just kind of random.
Because this book, although Pinocchio's not in it, which honestly, biggest letdown, I was waiting for that wooden boy. They do break it down as like the way the book or the story of Pinocchio progresses.
Mm-hmm.
So part 1 is actually called The Forest, and it has a section from the a quote from the 1940 movie Pinocchio. And it says, "A conscience is that still small voice that people won't listen to." So this is the way that our story starts with our boy Gio. Tell me about Gio.
So at the start, in part 1, I believe Pinocchio's already there, right? Pinocchio, hello, you got Pinocchio in my head now. Victor.
First of all, Pinocchio's not there, so don't get my hopes up because I literally did a little gasp. I was like, wait,
Pinocchio,
go back in.
So we quickly learn at the beginning of the story that this is a different take on Pinocchio. I'm sorry, it's still an inspiration, okay? So this world is just robots, just full of robots. And the twist is pretty much that Victor is the only human around, at least that he knows of, in this little like forest where he's with his family. It's just him, Gio, and Ratchet. Is her name Ratchet? Ratchet and Rambo. And I believe Rambo was a vacuum and Ratchet was just a nurse robot. But
like a medical unit?
Yeah, exactly. And Ratchet is that character that supplies, I think, most of the humor because she's kind of like sociopathic. All of the jokes are just hilarious to me, especially when there would be moments where she would be like, engaging empathy protocol or whatever. There. So in the beginning, Victor is just, I believe he goes to like a junkyard and he's like searching for something, or he just like goes around. Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah, because there's this place that is a huge junkyard, and he goes there to collect supplies because, like his dad, Gio, his robot dad, he really likes to build and create. So he's collecting supplies, and we don't really know for what. We just think it's to build whatever he wants. And he is with Rambo and Ratchet, and he's like, it basically shows that this is a very dangerous place to be because I think he falls off of like a huge heap of trash.
Yeah.
And it's like he's human. It could severely hurt him.
And also Gio is very much like against him going too far, and it makes him uncomfortable. And so Victor obviously loves to explore. So he's just like, don't worry, Dad, I'll be more careful or whatever. And I think... was it very early on when they find something in the junkyard?
Well, first, after, because they go on 2 trips to the junkyard, and in one of the trips, they actually find this piece of like equipment that Victor was looking for. And so we figure out that his dad, Gio, is slowly like falling apart. And Victor is very upset about this. So we figure out that he's making a heart for his dad so that he can continue to live after he breaks down.
Yeah.
So knowing this, the next day he goes to the junkyard to collect more parts, but ends up in like a robot graveyard. And in the robot graveyard, while they're looking around, Nurse Ratchet is like, there's something alive here.
Yeah.
Like, there's still something that's living here. And there is like a huge like mass of robots. And these are the first times that he sees robots that look like humans because Rambo and Nurse Ratchet look like robots. And so does, well, his dad kind of looks human. But like the fact that there's more and they're all just decapitated or like ripped apart, it like is very unnerving to him. But when he finally reaches to the bottom, he reaches this one robot that is like a huge man that is like missing a leg and an arm. He's missing a lot of parts. And I think it pulls him down. Like it like holds on to him and tries to hurt him. And Nurse Ratchet is like reacts immediately and shocks him. And it basically dies, right?
Yeah. But isn't this the moment where they find Hap?
Yeah, that was Hap. Because
you're right. Yes, you're right. I remember now.
Because this robot like turns off, and then they're all just kind of sitting there and like, well,
damn, he's dead. All right, P. You know what? Let's all wear black right now,
and let's go.
Let's all say the eulogy and get some dinner. But because
knew him really well, loved when he choked me.
But because this robot reacted, and because Victor is definitely someone with, curiosity, and he's a nicer person, so they take the robot to his study, pretty much. But on the robot, it has the letters HAP. Well, there's another letter, but they can't really read it. And so that's why they start to address this robot as Hap.
Can I just say, like, everything leading up to them taking Hap back home to Victor's, like, workroom is so fucking funny. Like, something I appreciate about TJ Klune is that his humor isn't awkward.
Yeah.
Because I've read humor in books where it's like, yeah, I get it. It's supposed to be funny, but I'm not going to laugh. You know?
Yeah, it's just too cool
when I read when I read his books, it's like those moments where you kind of just have to put the book down because you're like, oh my fucking God, I can't fucking handle it.
Yeah.
Because when they were putting Hap away, he didn't want his dad, Geo, to figure out that they had Hap. So he was like, Nurse Ratched, you have to distract my dad. Like, just keep him away from the workroom. She's like, on it, and then like walks over there and is like, Geo, you actually can't see your son right now because he is masturbating because he's human. And although he may be asexual, that's still a very human thing to do.
Yeah, so don't assume anything. That's so messed up. And the dad immediately just so fucking turns away, and he's just like, you know what? Yeah, he is human. I'm gonna go.
And it's funny because like they're all so, although they're robots, they do really care for Victor, but they also don't understand social aspects or social cues. So when Victor is like clearly flustered and embarrassed and angry, Nurse Ratched is just like, how'd I do? Was that good?
Are you proud?
Was that convincing? I fucking love that shit. That's so funny.
Yeah. And so just to kind of get the story moving. So Victor pretty much revives Hap by using that heart that he had created that he was initially going to hopefully one day give to his dad. So he uses that, and I believe he puts like blood in there, like his own blood in there.
He puts his blood, yeah.
And that pretty much wakes Hap up. I can't remember how he reacted when he woke up though.
I know that because we didn't mention it, he does talk and his voice is messed up. And that's something that they realized before too. Like his voice box is just not really working. So his voice sounds very like broken. But after this whole like addition of blood, it kind of seems that he's like just glued to Victor, and he'll act as if he does not care about Victor, but anything Victor does, he like follows him.
Yeah, like a lost little puppy. And obviously because he feels this, it's not that it's like a conscious thing, but I think he does feel almost indebted to him for having revived him. And so he's constantly just like around him, and it's like, oh, why do you have to do this? Why do you have to sleep? Why do you have to go to the restroom? Why do you have to do this? And it's like, dude, give me some space. Damn.
Yeah. So, I'm going to move ahead. I'm going to move like way ahead. So when Geo figures out that Hap is staying at the house, he gets incredibly angry, and he recognizes Hap, and I think Hap runs away. Like there's like this huge chase that goes on, and we figure out, I'm not sure at what point of the story, but we figure out that the missing letter in Hap's name is an R, and he's actually something called a harp, and the word stands for Human Annihilation Response Protocol. So when Oh, because there's like another thing that happens. We go back to the junkyard apparently to find like junks or pieces of body parts for Hap, and Victor accidentally bleeds on one of the parts that's in the junkyard, and it signals that there is human, like a human in, or sorry, no, it signals that there's organic materials in this junkyard. So basically like the robot cops come to Gio's place and is like, hey, there is a human here, isn't there? And while he's having this conversation, Victor, Rambo, Nurse Ratched, and now who we know as Harp, but we call him Hap. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're all hiding in a bunker, and like they're watching this over a camera, and we figure out that Gio like is important. Like he was doing something here that he wasn't supposed to be doing, which was
we kind of had an inkling though, because when he saw Hap, you can tell that he had a familiarity with him. Like I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. But we do know that Gio is not a good person. Like he's done something that's horrible, but you know, it's still Victor's dad. So on the cameras, Victor actually sees his dad get ripped apart, and before he turns off, he actually breaks his own heart.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want them to be able to bring him back or like manipulate him. Mm-hmm. So he is broken apart and they just take him. And Victor goes through like, it's like he's disassociating because of how panicked he is. And he does this a lot in the book where like his panic attacks are so bad he can't recognize anyone who's around him. Mm-hmm. So I really appreciate that every time this happens, the characters with him are like, just give him a moment. Mm-hmm. Like he just needs to breathe.
Yeah.
And just be calm because, you know, he has a lot of emotions. So just give him a moment. And they do that for him. And Hap, this is like the first time he sees Victor freak out this bad, and he's just like, what's going on? Like what's wrong with him? But he just lost his dad. So I
definitely appreciate that raw emotion that was added in that moment, especially because the robots, who I'm not saying they don't feel any emotion at all, but they genuinely not that much. I appreciated that Hap would have to be like explain like, oh well, he's human, so he's grieving, so he's feeling like this, so he's sad, and that's why he's crying, or that's why he's whatever. I just really liked that part of the journey, I guess.
No, I did too. I thought it was really good. Of course, Victor, even though he was told by his dad to not leave and just continue his life, he wants his dad back. And he's like, okay, we're going to go find my dad and we are going to bring him back. Mm-hmm. Oh, and just to mention, that heart that he was building for his dad, he actually ended up giving it to Hap. So there is no heart to give to his dad. So even if they get his dad back, there's like really no way of bringing him back to what he once was because they don't have a heart.
But I think he kind of
a lot.
I think Victor is pretty much determined, like, okay, I'm going to find my dad, but first I have to make a heart. I think he's kind of like, no matter what, he needs to get to his dad.
Yeah. So I don't really want to talk too much about all the aspects of this journey. Like that, there's like this whole part where they like go to like a circus thing. Mm-hmm. We don't really have to get into detail there. But just know that throughout their journey, it is Nurse Ratched, Rambo, Hap, and Victor. It's interesting to see because Rambo and Nurse Ratched, they're robots, but they have moments where they're just like, they have very deep conversations with fucking Victor where it's like, if I was gone, would you miss me? Mm-hmm. Like things like that. Yeah. Or like, am I supposed to feel something when you're gone? Because I really care about you.
Yeah.
And I fucking love those conversations because they're so like genuine questions. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I think there was even a point when Rambo asked like what happiness feels like.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's like when you fill your vacuum thing and your dustpan is full. Or whatever it was. And he's like, oh my God. And then at one point when Victor's freaking out, it's like, hurry, eat dust. It'll make you feel better.
Yeah.
So it's like, It's a very sweet, like, there are sweet moments like this between them.
Yeah, and but especially like having to explain to robots, like, not even explain to them, because I really loved how they slowly started to come to terms with the fact that they do have feelings or some sort of inkling of feelings. Because even Nurse Ratched, she would constantly joke about how, oh, I'm going to be really sad if, like, when you die or when I kill you or whatever. And then there would be moments where she's like doing everything she can to protect them.
Dude, even the part of them just leaving to go get Geo, she had mentioned, like, we have a 97% chance of failing this mission. Like, there's no point on us going. And then Victor was like, well, what would you do if I was gone? And she made a joke. She was like, I would stay here because there would be no point in going. And then he's like, okay, but what would you actually do? She's like, I would do anything to get you back.
Yeah.
Because they know what it means. Yeah. Like, they love him. I fucking love Victor and Hap. I fucking love them, dude. I think Hap is a very sweet character because we're seeing him, like, because he's the only one that has a heart, so he has emotions. Yeah. But these emotions that he's feeling are very new, so he doesn't know what to really do with them. And it's funny because there's a part where, like, because there will be things that happen around him. So, for example, there's the first time Victor and Hap hug. He's just kind of like, what's going on?
Yeah. Like, what, he almost takes it as, like, aggressive at first. But then he's like, okay, what are you doing?
And I think there was a point where, like, Victor had mentioned, I think Hap was in the room when he was sleeping. And he's just like, please don't look at me while I sleep. That's weird. Like, don't do that. Like, there's just, like, those little moments. But on their journey, Hap does mention, I think they hold hands once and they continue to hold hands for a while. And then afterwards, when they hold hands a second time and Vic is like, what are we doing? Hap is like, oh, well, this makes me feel happy. So can I continue to do this? And they're like, yeah. No, yeah, that's cool. That's chill. I love them. I'm trying to look for the quote they always say. Remember it?
I liked how they called him the hysterically angry puppet. I thought that was really cute.
So they figure out that Geo is a very important person in this robot community because he is an inventor. And we already knew that about him. But he specifically had to invent things in order to get rid of humans. And that's something we didn't know.
Yeah.
So he is actually the person who created HARP, who is supposed to annihilate humans. And in like this moment where we're figuring a lot of things out, we also figure out that there are no humans. Like, the only human that's left is Victor. And he gets this weird feeling because he's like, well, does that make me unique? Because I don't feel unique. Like, I don't want to be a spokesperson for humans.
Yeah.
So, like, what do I do? And it's a very interesting, like, concept to think about because, like, if that were anyone, do you have to take a certain responsibility or can you just continue living your life? I felt bad for him. I felt bad the fact that he was, like, the only one. We also figure out too.
It sucks because it definitely adds like another layer of pressure on him.
Well, how did you feel when we figured out that he didn't even he didn't have parents?
I was a little bit confused by that. So was I being gaslit in the beginning? I'm very confused. So this is the story that he told Victor. He told Victor that these two humans came by, dropped him off, said see ya, and that's why he has him, right? But so Geo created Victor?
Yeah, so remember at the beginning of the story, it also talks about how Geo was incredibly lonely. So we were gaslit at the beginning.
Damn.
And it turns out that Geo, in his loneliness, tried to get all of the compounds that make up a living organism and was able to successfully create a human. And he just basically grew it in a tube until Victor was born. And that's why he had some deficits, because it wasn't like perfect, but I mean, he's a human. So it's a huge thing. And I don't know if Victor ever reacted to this. I think that was just something where he was just like, oh.
Chill.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chill. To have parents? Love that. Wait, you are my robot dad?
I fucking knew it, Dad. I love you.
You have the test tube's eyes.
I think that the concept is really cute. You know, that him and his loneliness and, you know, that just created Victor. I just kind of wish that it would have started that way. Like maybe it would have started with us knowing how Victor was actually created and then him telling Victor the fake story of how he was created. I don't know. Like I kind of wish that I would have actually known.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think there's a point to gaslight readers. Like, I'm reading your book already. Don't gaslight me. I already have trust issues.
Yeah.
You don't need to do that to me.
I know, literally.
Well, on this adventure too, I do want to mention there's this one quote that every time they're about to go on an adventure that Nurse Ratched, Rambo, and Victor always say. And it's the stick together, run if we have to, no dallying, no drilling, and above all else, be brave. And I just want to say that I fucking love the first time that Hap says the quote and everyone's like, whoa, wait a minute.
Wait a minute, you've been listening?
Are we squad? Wait, bitch, are we fam? Don't even get me started. I fucking love that shit. I like, you know how I feel about found family. So I was like, yes, bitch, let's go to Sears right now and take our Christmas photos.
Oh my.
Goddamn.
Oh my god.
Okay, I'll be very honest with you. And this is where we're going to start to get a little vague. I love TJ Klune. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
This entire trip that they take to like the city, I didn't like it at all.
Oh, why?
I wasn't vibing with this whole like robot that is above all else and is basically like robot god, robo god.
Robo god. Okay. That's interesting.
And then they like robo god was like, here, I'm gonna help you by looking into this Harp's memories. And they like dig into Hap's memories of him like killing humans. Like I didn't see the point in any of that. What did they gain from being there?
I think it was just to see what the purpose of Hap was because, I guess Harp. And
yeah,
just to kind of have that character development of how this is what he was created for, but that's not how he actually is. And, you know, he ends up falling in love, I guess, with Victor. And, you know, I think the point of it was to show that you're not what you were created for, I guess. I don't really know if I'm saying that correctly, but do you get what I'm trying to say? You know, like the whole purpose.
I actually want to pause. No, go ahead. Finish your thought.
You want to pause?
No. Go ahead. Finish your thought. The whole purpose.
I like that concept of even though they being Harp and Geo, even though they were created for a certain task, eventually they kind of realized like, well, damn, what am I really doing here?
I do want to add to that thought, but I'm going to pause for a bit because you said something that kind of triggered me. What do you mean you guessed they fell in love? Were you not down for this romance?
No.
Because I'm about...
Oh my god. What? Damn, that was loud.
I'm sorry. I like went away from the mic, but I screamed right into our phone mic.
Oh my god. Ow. I felt that in my ear. No, I mean, they had some cute moments, but I just felt like it was missing. It was missing more. I wanted more.
What? Is it because he's not human? Just say it.
Oh my god. No. You know what's so funny? It took me
because he's not Pinocchio?
It took me back to when we were playing Detroit Become Human. Remember that?
Yeah. How could I forget? That's literally my favorite thing that we did together.
I know, literally. It was so fun. We should do that again.
Oh my god.
I don't know. Okay, I'm kind of conflicted because I did enjoy some of their moments together, but overall, when the stakes were kind of high, I was kind of like, okay, I don't know. Like, I feel like their romance should have been developed a little bit different. I don't know. Like, I know he's a robot, okay? I know. But sue me for wanting more feelings. And then Victor over here was super awkward with his feelings. So I'm just like, okay, one is awkward. The other one doesn't really know how to express or doesn't really know feelings. So I don't know. I'm missing something here.
Okay, first of all, only half of this podcast hates robots. Okay,
Oh,
the other half would fucking die for robots. I would protect my Alexa with my life.
Okay. You have an Alexa?
Would you?
I don't have an Alexa.
Yeah. Go get one. Then you're gonna get one, fall in love with it, come back and be like, you know what, guys, Hap's not that bad.
My third eye wide open, guys. You know what? That's what I needed. I needed Alexa to show me the ways.
I understand what you mean, because it's not like the romance was the biggest part of this story, because it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
But I appreciated it because Victor is asexual, which, first of all, proud of him. But at the same time, it's kind of weird to me that, like, he's had no interaction with anyone ever, but he's like, yeah, I know what I am.
Yeah, that's the other thing that I wanted to bring up. Like, how, I'm not saying that you can't be asexual, but you really only have your dad and a vacuum and a nurse robot. So,
and old black and white movies.
Yeah, that's what really did it for him.
That's so fun. That's what did it for him. He looks at person and he's like, wow, I feel nothing.
I feel nothing for that person, so therefore
I think that's why it was so awkward, though, because he's asexual. So he is feeling romantic feelings for someone but hasn't before.
Yeah.
And like I do get that you wanted there to be more, because I also wanted there to be more, but I just really like how much both of them care for each other. I think one thing that does get to me, though, is that it feels like, you know, for Victor, he can like Hap, but for Hap, it feels more of an obligation because of the blood connection. You know what I mean?
That's what I wanted to bring up too. Like, it doesn't feel very genuine to me, because ever since he revived him, pretty much, like, he's felt this innate feeling of just being close to him, which could have worked if, you know, the relationship had, in my opinion, you know, half of this podcast thinks this, had more depth to it.
It's crazy to me because, like, this story was portrayed as a story that was going to be like a big adventure. I mean, it's called In the Lives of Puppets. Like, I wanted to see the lives of all of these puppets.
Where are the lives at? And they're dead.
And although we didn't talk about it, I thought this adventure was going to be more like how the circus was, where people were going to interact with Victor and be like, this is what a human is like.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like, why would we get rid of you guys? But that's why I didn't like the whole city part. Because it seems like after they saw the only human that was alive, they were like, oh, you want to stay at Motel 7 here? Like, they're like, oh, completely okay with it.
Yeah.
I wanted them to be shocked. And I wanted Victor to, like, kind of stand his ground and be like, you know what? I am the only fucking human. Fuck you guys.
Yeah. Like, now you're all my bitches.
You can love. Fucking stand here so I can bleed on you. But like, I wanted more of that. But at like the story also said, like, it's not Victor's job to be like a spokesperson for humans.
Yeah.
But I will say that I do get. But then it kind of makes this book a little unsatisfying, because when they do end up getting Geo back and they do end up making a heart for him, and Hap, who momentarily is destroyed in battle, gets a new heart. When everyone is back in the forest and they have their hearts again, they're no longer who they were, because they're robots. So they had to be reprogrammed and basically start from scratch. And although they do have days where they do remember the adventures they've been on, like, Hap is never going to be Hap again. Yeah. And Geo is never going to be Geo again.
Yeah, it's like different versions of them now.
And it's sad because like there were moments where Hap would be like, oh, I really care about you, don't I? Mm-hmm. And Victor's like, yeah, you do. And then he would go back to like acting aggressively or cold. And Victor would have a moment where it was like, okay, today was a good day. Good enough. You know, that's as good as it's going to get. Mm-hmm. It made me feel so sad. And it kind of reminds me of how I felt about Under the Whispering Door. Mm-hmm. Because like, if you are going to write a book about loss and grieving, don't bring the character back. Like, I don't understand why he's done this twice to me.
Oh, and it made me upset because about that.
Yeah, and I know that TJ Klune has been through grief. I've been through grief. You've been through grief. There is no situation in which you get a second chance. So for him to want to write books so much about grief, I'm surprised that he always does that.
Yeah, it brings the characters back. I agree with you because I feel like after that moment of, even when it was happening, when Hap was pretty much like sacrificing himself for the team, I just knew. I was like, he's going to come back. I know he is. There's no way he's not. And when it actually did happen, I was like, yeah, I'm kind of disappointed. I think I'm just going to assume that the reason why these characters keep coming back is probably because, I mean, we already deal with grief IRL. Why wouldn't we have a happy ending in fiction? But it did leave me, I don't know. It felt like anticlimactic to me.
It did, because there was no real like growth for Victor. Like, I wish that it had been more so like, yeah, I may have lost two people important to my life, but I learned through these people that I want to continue to bring life to others. And like him continuing to bring lives to these puppets. Mm-hmm. Like, I thought that's where this story was going. But he didn't do that.
That didn't
and that's disappointing. Because he could have created new life, también. Like, he could have made another person, or he could have made more robots and being like, hey, let me tell you a story about this great guy named Hap. You know, like, he could have done something like that.
Oh my God, make it like, what is it, Edward Scissorhands? Have you seen that movie?
Yes.
When at the end,
of course I have.
At the end, when she's telling like the story, she's like, let me tell you about the love of my life.
Could be like that. I'm sorry. I just fucking remembered that one time you, me, and Melissa stayed at that motel and we were going through the channels and Edward Scissorhands was on one channel, but what was it called? Lil Nicky?
Yeah, Lil Nicky.
was on another channel, and you would be like, let's watch Edward Scissorhands. And we're like, yeah, I mean, I get it, but he just has scissors for hands. Is he Lil Nicky? No, he's not.
And that guy has boobs on his head. So honestly, I don't get it. You know what? I'm still mad. I'm gonna call Melissa right now.
I know. Put her on this call.
Gotta sort this out.
Dude, I'm shocked because like every time I read a TJ Klune book, because I just finished reading his trilogy, The Extraordinaries, and then I also read the Cerulean Sea one, and then this one, and I recently bought his trilogy Wolf Song, so like I'm deep in there.
She's in it. Damn.
But I always have this feeling, because I do really like his work, but I always have a feeling of like not being satisfied with it, because it feels like he's scared to follow through.
Okay.
And that makes me so fucking mad. Like, it never, even in Extraordinaries, he didn't follow through. Oh, like, there's never that last point that's going to like really change a character's life. Victor's life would have changed if they had kept Geo and Hap dead. Or if maybe he had brought Geo back and it had only worked for a moment, and then it would have been like, you can't bring back the dead. And then he would have passed.
Not even, you can't bring back like the dead. And even for robots, it's the same thing.
Yeah. Sorry, CPU full. And then he dies. Sorry, updating to Windows 10. He's like, Geo, no!
Geo, please.
Geo, no, I don't want to update. Maybe later, in a few hours. Oh, God. I don't know. I'm I still liked reading it, but, you know, are we going to overall thoughts? Because it kind of feels like we are.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Overall thoughts. I did enjoy reading this book, but I just don't really like how this ending was. Because it feels like very unsatisfying, first of all. The fact that they're back, but they're not back. It would have been better if they had just been gone. If you're going to tackle grief, make sure to tackle it the correct way. I guess there's no correct way to write it, though.
Yeah.
But it feels weird that you've done this in all of the books I've ever read that you've written. So
yeah,
it just kind of leaves an ick. Very disappointed that there's no Pinocchio in sight. If you're telling me that Hap's Pinocchio, no, he's not. Okay, Hap doesn't even lie. Okay, so he can't be Pinocchio. I do really appreciate TJ Klune's writing, though. I think he's really good at writing dialogue and is incredibly good at creating a found family. But at the end of the day, I think that I would have preferred this book to be different than what it was. Mm-hmm. I love Hap and I love Vic, but I don't think their romance should have continued after Hap died. And also the whole Geo mission to go get him back was severely disappointing after the whole circus one.
Yeah.
Like it did not matter to me at all. I was kind of speeding through this after that point. Mm-hmm. I think overall I would give this book probably like a 2.5 out of 5.
Wow. Is that the lowest you've given a TJ Klune book?
Yeah, because The Extraordinaries, I was literally like 5. Nothing wrong with them.
Damn.
But the thing is, I remember reading this and finishing it and being like, oh my God, I fucking love TJ Klune.
Yeah,
but like
I feel like we've sat in long enough with this book for you to get over that stage of after you read a book and you're like, 5.
It's kind of nice to sit on it, though. And actually, it's nice to talk about. Like, if I hadn't talked to you about it, mm-hmm. I don't think I would have made that connection that he keeps keeping them alive mm-hmm. at the end.
Yeah, he keeps saving these characters. So...
have you ever heard... Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I don't know if I brought this up the last time we read TJ Klune. I think I did, like this exact story. But there's this one author of a manga. It's called Fairy Tail. He makes a lot of mangas. So it's Fairy Tail, there's Eden Zero, mm-hmm. all of these other ones. And he uses the same characters in every story, but just changes their names because he's super attached to his characters.
Oh, yeah.
And in one of his stories, he actually killed off a main character. Because it made sense with the plot. Uh-huh. And it fucked him up so much. Like, he got physically sick after killing off his character. Aww. So he admitted that he's not strong enough to kill off a main character and just won't do it anymore.
Yeah.
So now everyone's like, okay, first of all, king, but at the same time, now it's just hella plot armor.
I remember you telling me that. I kind of wish he wouldn't have revealed that, even if that's how he feels, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because now...
I mean, how would he explain his doctor's note? Man, too sad.
Man, too sad. I've never
Give him
recovered.
Ice cream. I know. Yeah, but it makes me think about that. I don't know. I understand that it's hard to kill off your characters because I feel like you do get attached as an author. I'm not an author, so I wouldn't know. But I feel like you do get attached.
Yeah, you do. But you know, some authors
like you have to follow through.
Love to hurt the readers. So,
do you consider yourself that? Do you want to just hurt people?
Sometimes. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. It depends on my mood. Okay, so for me, I feel like I really enjoyed this book. In the beginning, I feel like I was really into it. I was into the humor, especially. I feel like Chelly said, TJ Klune's humor, love it. I literally laughed. I just loved Nurse Ratched so much. And then we didn't really mention Rambo's character, like type of character, but Rambo was kind of like that nervous, you know, always saying stupid shit kind of character. So I loved their dynamic. And I think I would agree with you. I'm not exactly sure when this book lost me, but it might have been the city part, possibly. Because after that, I was kind of just like, wait, what? Like, why is this happening? I kind of expected something different. I didn't really picture anything specifically though, but I do like that idea of him, Victor, still being like a puppet, I guess, for the robots. Like I that's kind of like what I was expecting a little bit.
What do you mean by that?
Him
being a puppet.
Because he's the only human around, I would have expected the robots to treat him kind of like a spectacle. Like, oh, look, he's the only one left, so let's not like literally dissect him, but like figuratively dissect him and see.
Kind of like what was happening at the circus place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little bit. I just kind of expected a little bit more. And then, like I already said, it's not that I 100% hated the romance, but I just really wanted something more. Like when Hap was sacrificing himself to them, I did feel that, but I feel like I didn't feel it strong enough. Like I remember listening to that part and I was like, damn, I feel like I should be sadder right now that this is happening. But I wasn't really. And then honestly, the rest, like after that, it's all a blur. Like I do remember that the characters were around and they were there and they weren't the same as before. But to me, I was just so disappointed in the book, which is sad because I do like TJ Klune's writing and I do like the dialogue and the humor, and the beginning I really enjoyed, but then it just kind of lost me after I guess Gio destroyed his own heart.
Did it also bother you with the whole gaslighting thing?
It did bother me a little bit. I think it would have been better if it started in a different way. But
I agree with you.
That's just,
like, I don't think it would have changed how I felt about it if the reader already knew.
Yeah, and I don't know, like, even when that part was revealed, even then I was like, damn, I feel like I should be more affected by this, but I'm kind of just like, okay, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, okay.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I would probably give this book like a 2.
Damn.
Yeah.
Do you think if we hadn't talked about this, would you still have given it a 2?
I probably would have DNF'd it, honestly.
Dang.
Yeah.
That kind of hurts my heart.
I was struggling to finish this book. I was struggling so much. But I was like, damn, I have to finish this because we had set a day that we were going to record this episode, but we never did.
Yes.
But I did have that book finished by then. But I was like, damn, this is the hardest book I've ever had to get through. But
yeah, dude, that was me that was the same batch when we were reading Fourth Wing. That was me. It was because both of these stories were so dense, and to read them the same week was insane.
Yeah, it was, honestly.
Dang, dude. Oh my gosh. TJ Klune. TJ. Looks like you fell off a bit. It's okay. Next time when we talk about your trilogy, Extraordinaries, we'll talk about how great it was.
I didn't agree to that, but okay.
No, we are. Totally.
Maybe.
Well, thank you to everyone who's listening to our episode in audio form, whether that be on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcasts on. Thank you so much. If you could please leave a review, but also a rating of 5 stars, that would be great. And also, if you want to help a little bit more with exposure, telling your friends, loved ones, hated ones, the robots in your life about us, that would really help. I also want to say a thank you to everyone who's been following us recently. Yeah. That's so sweet. Where are you guys coming from?
Yeah, let us know.
Where are we coming from? Please leave your address in the comments. No, just kidding. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Do not do that, please. If you would like to support us and you have an extra few dollars in your pocket, what could they do? So
we did make a Patreon, and for the moment, it just serves as a way for our listeners to just really let us know that you enjoy our content, enjoy what we're doing, and yeah, just give us a little bit of extra love if you can. You can find us on patreon.com/bookfix.
Thank you. If you are watching us on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We typically post on Tuesdays and on Thursdays. Thank you. It's been a while, but usually at the end of our episodes, we roll a dice, and if it lands on an even number, then we read a positive review of this story. But if it lands on an odd number, we read a negative review of this story. These reviews are pulled off of either Storygraph or Goodreads. And we do not say anything about the review. We leave it in the air. So Yahaira's going to go ahead and do the dice roll, and then we will look up a review together.
Okay, so this dice is an app on my phone, so I'm going to click on it. We got a 3.
I'll make the noise.
Oh,
3.
Thanks
that
for
is
the sound
an
effect.
odd number. I like how it was the sound effect after you said it. That is an odd number, so we're going to go ahead and read a negative review. Also, I'm on Goodreads right now. Oh, wait, they changed it. It has a 4.04 as an average rating, but on the image, it showed a 4.5 stars, and I'm like, make it make sense, Goodreads. Storygraph would never do me like this.
Yeah.
Wait, can I read one? But this isn't going to be our last one. Someone gave this a 1 out of 5, and her name is Eva. And she wrote, I love Cerulean Sea. Whispering Door was decent. And Wolfsong was a cry against humanity. A crime against humanity. And now I'm worried. What if that book sucks? I literally just bought it.
That's funny.
Wait, this one doesn't make sense. Tell me if you want to keep it.
That's funny. No, I keep it.
So this comes from Alexi, who rated it a 1 out of 5 on Goodreads and just wrote, I never thought it would.
End?
Thank you so much for listening.
I never thought it would end?
And we'll talk to you next time. No, that's it. I never thought it would.
No, didn't I see that one? It says end. That was the comment that I wanted to read. I'm looking at it right now.
Dude, oh my god, wait. Is this a conspiracy moment? Because look, I'm about to show it to you.
Okay, well, I will show it. It's like 2 different Alexis.
Dude, send me a screenshot right now.
I'm sending it to you right now as we speak. Yeah. Sent.
Okay, I just sent mine too.
What?
Whoa, Alexi! Alexi! She's disintegrating. We need to help her. Someone else looks it up and it's like, I wonder why she wrote, I never thought it. It keeps getting shorter and shorter.
I never thought.
Thank you so much for listening. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Dude, we're in a matrix right now.
What the heck? It's the same Alexi. This is a conspiracy theory, bro. Like,
hurry, say something so I know that you're real.
Something.
I knew it.
Damn.
If we were in a moment where we had to prove to the other that we are who we are, what would you say to me? Like, what would you do to prove that you're the real Yahaira?
Oh my god, that is
that only
so much pressure. What? Okay,
Wait, I have a question. Oh my god, this is lore.
What?
What was the 3 colors of our friendship bracelet?
Blue, orange, and red?
I think it was red. I don't remember if it was red or yellow. We both forgot.
I was also thinking
that's
yellow.
Valid, actually.
But I think I'm pretty sure there was red in it. And then we had like a code for every color, but now I can't remember them.
Yeah, I remember that too.
Dude, that is so cute. We were so cute. What happened?
Yeah, what happened to us?
You know what?
This marriage kind of like fizzled, didn't it? Marriage.
Excuse me? Wait, hold on. Okay, join us next time on our therapy session. Thank you, guys.